Hello guys and welcome back to Championship Predictions. We are now into game week 42 and there's some big scorelines to talk about from midweek, Sophie. So many late goals as well. Before we talk about the Championship, set us a like target.
Let's go big on this one because the games are running out now. So 3,300 likes.
Yeah, be sure to get involved. We've got so much content going out at the minute. Check out yesterday's vlog between Coventry and Portsmouth. And later today, we've got the Premier League predictions coming out. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any of our videos. It's really appreciated if you like and subscribe. So keep it coming, guys. Not long left of this season. The scores, Sophie, from midweek, between me and you, Matt 7, Sophie 7.
Oh, so,
yeah, we drew. I mean, you've still got a lot of catching up and there's only 4 or 5 weeks left. Yeah,
no, I don't think I'm going to do it, but at least the gap didn't get any bigger, so just one positive.
You'll take a draw.
Yeah.
You'll take a draw. On to the predictions, Sophie. Let's start with Burnley versus Norwich City on Friday then. Burnley, Sophie, they slipped up a 0-0 draw against Derby County, and that top of the table is definitely a hot potato because 1 week Leeds are top, the next week Sheffield United are top, and then as soon as Burnley go top, they don't win.
I think it's cursed, isn't it?
Coming into this game, Sophie, Burnley are not top, so surely they win. Norwich, 0-0 against Sunderland isn't the worst result in the world, but their playoff hopes are over. Burnley have got a lot more to play for. I know it's predictable, but I will go Burnley 1-0.
Yeah, I'm going for the same. I do fancy Burnley just to get it over the line. I think there's almost like an air of pressure when someone's in that top spot and it's like, okay, now let's cement this top spot, and no one seems to be doing that. So I think in the chase for the top spot, I think they'll do it. Norwich aren't a bad side, but as you say, they've not got as much to play for right now, and that's why I'm tipping Burnley just to edge it 1-0.
1-0. Honestly, there's so little to separate that top three at the minute.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Let us know your thoughts, Burnley and Norwich fans. We're just back in Burnley to go back to the summit. Next up though, Sophie, it's Leeds United. They are playing 12:30 on Sky Sports. What a surprise. They take on Preston North End, Sophie. So there's obviously one team with a lot more to play for again. But it's these games where we've seen teams that have a lot more to play for slip up. You think about Leeds when they drew with Swansea in particular. That was crazy. Let's give Leeds credit though. A good win at Middlesbrough. And I tell you what, we've been whinging about the officials at Coventry lately. They were absolutely terrible at Middlesbrough versus Leeds. They had 2 clear onside goals disallowed. I know,
wrongly,
I know in real time you can say they were close, but I thought the officials were shocking. I really do. And thankfully, they haven't cost Leeds there because, you know, if Middlesbrough had equalised late on, that would have been a disgrace.
Yeah, you'd have to complain. I mean, there's so many referees and linesmen that you want to complain about in the Championship. I just think it's just terrible. The standards of the officials in this league are shocking.
Yeah. As for Preston North End, Sophie, they only managed a draw against Cardiff. They conceded in the 94th minute. A bit of a killer there for Preston, but they don't have a lot playing. They don't have a lot to play for, as we've touched on before. I think it's easy to get carried away and say, Leeds 3-0. We know this is the Championship. It's not that straightforward.
No.
I think I will back Leeds, but I tell you what, I'm only going to go 2-1. I think Leeds are going to have the lion's share. They're going to dominate, but they might make it difficult for themselves, and maybe the officials might make it difficult for them again. But the main thing is get those 3 points over the line.
Yeah.
But honestly, this top 2 race, it's so wide open and there's so many twists and turns to come. Anything could happen. But what I'm thinking here, Sophie, is I know I said top of the table's a hot potato, but Burnley might go top the night before, so Leeds will come into this
pressure slightly off,
not top of the table if that happens, and there you go. I'll back them to win. I'll say 2-1.
Yeah, I'm going to go for the same deficit. I'm going to say Leeds get another 1-0 win over the line. I do fancy them to edge this one. I know they've got more to play for, but as you've already mentioned, that doesn't necessarily mean that team's going to win. Preston won't make it easy for them at all, but I do think Leeds have the quality to get it over the line, and then just hopefully the officials will be a little bit better for them as well.
Honestly. Paul Heckingbottom, though, you're right. He'll come here, he'll make it horrible.
Yeah.
Preston know how to...
I see it being low scoring because of that.
Yeah, exactly. I think Preston can make even the top teams have, you know, difficult times, if that makes sense. Interesting, though. I mean, I back Leeds almost all the time. I didn't against Middlesbrough, and they actually won.
Yeah.
So maybe the Leeds fans will be upset that I've backed them this week.
Yeah, kiss of death from us both.
Let us know your thoughts. Sophie, the final team in the top 2 race are up next. It's Sheffield United. They are away at Plymouth, and I tell you what, they both need to win. Sheffield United are favourites, but honestly, I didn't see them losing at Oxford. I didn't see them losing at home to Millwall. So it could happen. They could lose this.
Genuinely, they could.
But Plymouth, they lost 3-0 to Swansea, which is a real setback. But if they win this, then all of a sudden you're like, oh, okay, all is forgiven. You know, if you can win, lose, it might be enough to get them out.
Yeah.
It depends on what the other teams are doing. But both teams surely have to win this. It's difficult with Sheffield United though, Sophie. Things seem a little bit divided. Chris Wilder's been going at the fans.
The fans
have been going at him. They need a result to get things going again. And I think they're just going to do it. Plymouth 1, Sheffield United 2.
Yeah, so we've said throughout the season that we fancy Plymouth more when they're at home. I didn't expect them to go away to Swansea and lose in the fashion they did, especially when they're so desperate for points. But in this one, both teams are desperate for points, so it could be a really tricky one. I mean, Sheffield United aren't on the best run of form at the moment. There's been a couple of shock defeats, I'd say. So really, they need to win this one. I see it finishing a draw. I'm going to say 1-1.
Ooh.
Yeah, I mean, it's a point for both teams, but they both need the 3, to be honest.
Yeah, wow. Imagine if that happens, 1-1. As you say, it's not a great result for either, really.
Not really, no.
Plymouth, after this, are away at Middlesbrough. Sheffield United got a couple of difficult games coming. Remember, they've still got Burnley, of course.
Yeah.
Let us know your thoughts. A draw is probably not good for anyone. Next game is Cardiff versus Stoke. This is massive. Absolutely massive. It feels like one of these two could drop this season, but it's so hard to make any sense out of the relegation battle, Sophie, because we're not getting many decisive results. For example, Stoke, if they would have beaten Luton in midweek, that would have been decisive.
Nearly did as well.
But they conceded in the last minute. Cardiff, they scored in the last minute, but it was only to get a draw. So everything is so close. If either team wins this, it could be huge, and I think it'd be typical if it's 1-1.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if this is a League One fixture in a couple of years, but right now they're both in the Championship. And you just think, who's going to go down? I don't think both of these teams will, but there is a risk that at least one of them
I think you're right.
will. Maybe, 1-1 or a 0-0. I'll go different. I'll go 0-0. Both keep a clean sheet, but I see them cancelling each other out.
Who's at more risk? Would you say Cardiff?
I'd say Cardiff, yeah.
So I know Stoke have got a couple of difficult games coming. They're away at Leeds, and they've got another one in there, I think, that's difficult. But I don't know, we will see. Let us know your thoughts. I think Stoke play Derby on the final day, which could be huge.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the next one, Sophie. Luton Town take on Blackburn Rovers. Both drew in midweek. Blackburn, to be fair to them, as much as I've not enjoyed them lately, it was a good spirited comeback against Sheffield Wednesday.
It was, to be fair.
Can they build on it? I'm not sure, because what is the motivation for Blackburn compared to what is the motivation for Luton? Luton will come here on a bit of a high after that last minute goal against Stoke, which could be a really crucial one come the end of the season. I think Luton are going to win.
I do as well.
Luton have just rallied, maybe in the nick of time. Luton 2-0.
Oh, 2-0. I'm saying 2-1. Yeah, I do fancy Luton to actually get it over the line. I will give Rovers some credit for making a comeback and getting a point against Sheffield Wednesday, because they have been really poor since Ishmael has come in and taken over. I don't think it'd be the right decision to sack him now, but at the end of the season they need to get rid. And then Luton, maybe they're making a last-ditch attempt at staying up, possibly. But I think the 3 points here will definitely help the cause. So 2-1 Luton. 2-1
Luton. Do let us know your thoughts down below. We're both backing them on what would be a huge win. Sophie, I am looking forward to this. Let's go to the Den for Millwall versus Middlesbrough. And Millwall, Sophie, are in the playoff race for sure.
They are, yeah.
I did say a couple of weeks ago, we'll see. If they keep chucking wins on, then we'll take them more seriously. And we have to now. I mean, they must be the only team in the Championship that's beaten Sheffield United, Leeds and Burnley. That is so impressive, especially to go away to Bramall Lane when Sheffield United had so much to play for.
Millwall could that, and a clean sheet as well.
Millwall could be a really dangerous team in the playoffs.
Oh, the top three would be like, please Lord, may it not be Millwall.
No, I don't think they'd want to play them.
No, they wouldn't. No.
So, they take on Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough had been on a decent run. They lost to Leeds. I did say, Sophie, that Middlesbrough had some soft fixtures, and that Leeds game is maybe a little bit of a reality check. As we said, those disallowed goals, they could have lost by more.
Yeah.
Both have to get something here. Mill will have to win. Middlesbrough, need probably at least a draw. 1-0 Millwall.
I fancy Millwall as well. It's weird because a few weeks ago I didn't even think of them being in the playoff race, but as you say, a couple of wins on the bounce and shoot straight up. So I think they're going to get another win here. 2-1 Millwall. I do see both teams scoring, to be honest. I do like Borough. Yeah, I will just edge Millwall. I could see maybe both teams setting up and think, oh, must not lose, and then maybe it'd end a draw. But I don't know, I just feel like right now, I feel like Millwall could do it.
I think Millwall probably do need to win because they're 5 points off and their goal difference isn't great. They're 3 points off Borough. And, you know, if you don't win this, you're running out of time to catch them. I will say Millwall have got some nice fixtures coming, which you could see winning.
Them picking up the points there.
Blackburn, Norwich, those kind of games you'd think they might win. For us, as Coventry fans, I think a draw would be all right. But we're both back in Millwall. Let us know your thoughts. The next game, Sophie, sees Portsmouth take on Derby. What a big game this is. So many massive games this weekend, and this is a huge 6-pointer. Both obviously came up, and no one in that bottom half of the table is safe. No one, honestly.
No, not technically, no.
I'm struggling with this. I've got to admit, this is Pompey's strong suit. I said if they're going to stay up, it'll be their home form. And I tell you what, I know they lost in the last minute, and that's going to be gut-wrenching for those Pompey fans. But the performance on its own was enough to make me think, yeah, I think they'll do it.
Stay up, yeah.
Because I know it was... What, a 7 out of 10 performance from them, would you say?
Yeah, probably.
But they can be an 8 or a 9 at home.
Exactly, yeah.
The difficulty is, though, it's Derby. And I think they're going to stay up as well. So I wonder if they draw and they both just keep nudging away from trouble. A win could be really decisive, but I'm actually going to sit on the fence and say 1-1. I honestly can't pick it. If it was at Derby, I'd maybe go for Derby. With it being at Fratton Park, I'm tempted to go for Pompey, but I reckon Derby might get a draw. 1-1.
What do you think it's going to be like? A bit of a gentleman's agreement? Like, all right, yeah, walk away with a point.
A draw's not terrible, but it is...
Suits Pompey more, doesn't it?
It depends what the other teams down there do this weekend. If Luton win, as we've predicted, then these two are going to be sweating.
I'm going to pick a winner, to be honest. I think Portsmouth's home form is going to see them over the line here. I do see it being a really close one. Again, I think both teams might almost think, oh, must not lose, so it depends how they set up in this one. But I was quite impressed with Portsmouth's performance against Coventry. To be fair, both times I've played them this season, they've been pretty good.
Hey, at least they didn't have Callum Lang yesterday.
Oh, thank God, yeah, not popping up with the odd 4 goals. But no, I fancy them to actually get it over the line. It's such a tasty game, this, where you think, oh, okay, if it goes like either way, you think, okay, that's them feeling a little bit more safer for another week. But I think it's going to be the home side doing it. 2-1 Pompey. 2-1.
It's a big game. I'm sure there'll be a good atmosphere. I think Portsmouth and Derby, they're probably 2 of the best fan bases I've seen this season. Been really impressive. The next game, Sophie, is between Queen's Park Rangers and Bristol City, both with big wins in midweek. Let's start with Bristol City, Sophie. Something special is happening there. You know, you look at the crowds, they're selling out.
Yeah.
Last minute goals.
The limbs of that was just insane.
Honestly. I mean, not just a last minute goal, but in a 6-pointer.
Yeah.
You know, Bristol City have been back in the Championship 10 years now, Sophie, since they came up from League One. They've not once in that time finished in the Championship playoffs. This is a good opportunity, isn't it? I prefer them at home, I will say. I wonder if Bristol City fans might say a draw's okay. I don't know. If they can win this, that'd be huge.
And it depends on like other results, isn't it?
Exactly. QPR, of course. What a win at Oxford.
Yeah.
We didn't see it coming, and that might nearly be them safe now, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'm just going to use my head. Obviously, I would rather Bristol City don't win, but I can't just be biased. I have to use my head. I think Bristol City win 2-1.
Yeah, I see them getting it over the line as well, annoyingly. I think I said 2-1 last time, and that actually came through. I'd say 1-0 Bristol City. I do fancy them winning this, to be honest. They've just got that character about them to get it over the line in any way possible. And I see them doing it again this weekend, so 1-0.
1-0, yeah, massive result. Do share your thoughts down below. Bristol City edging towards a playoff place. Next up, Sophie, we go to Hillsborough. Sheffield Wednesday take on Oxford United. Sheffield Wednesday, Sophie, threw it away against Blackburn. They were 2-0 up, and that is literally their playoff hopes over if it wasn't already. So what's the motivation? I know mathematically they're not out of the playoff picture technically, but I don't, they're not going to win all 5 games, are they? And I don't really like them at Hillsborough. I think Sheffield Wednesday are really impressive on the road, but they're quite poor at home. The interesting thing though is Oxford United are actually pretty poor away. But they need a point or 2, well they can't get 2, but a point or 3 to move away from trouble after that defeat against QPR. I'm going to go for a draw. I think tempted. Sheffield Wednesday just can't turn draws into wins sometimes. 1-1.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm going for this, but I'm going to say Wednesday get the win this time. I'm going to say 2-1. As you said, there's not really masses to motivate them right now, but just finish as high as possible. And then Oxford, obviously, they need to grind out something. So, yeah, it could be a tricky one. I can see why you've gone for a draw, but I just fancy like a moment of magic from Wednesday and them getting the winner.
There you go. So you're back in Sheffield Wednesday.
Yeah,
there you go.
Yeah.
I'm going for a draw. Let us know your thoughts down below. Oxford could do with something. We go to the Stadium of Light, Sophie. Sunderland take on Swansea City. It's actually a dead rubber. Sunderland have mathematically confirmed their playoff place. If they'd maybe won 2 more games this season, you'd maybe say they're still in the race for the top 2. They've just come a bit short, haven't they? Swansea, though, I mean, full credit to them. They've had a real resurgence lately. They're beating teams that have a lot more to play for than them.
Yeah.
They drew with Leeds, they beat Derby, they beat Plymouth. I think it'd be cruel not to give Swansea something here. I'm going to go for a draw. I think Sunderland have been pretty stubborn lately. 1-1.
I'm going for a draw, but I'm going to say 0-0, which you might think, oh, but Swansea have just put 3 past Plymouth. But I do see Sunderland being a little bit better defensively than Plymouth, to be honest. But I see both these teams cancelling each other out. Not because it's like 2 poor teams going at it.
Just because, 2 good teams.
Yeah, on their day, it's 2 good teams going at it. And that's why I see them cancelling each other out. So 0-0.
Yeah, even good teams draw 0-0 sometimes. The next game then is at the Hawthorn, Sophie, as West Bromwich Albion take on Watford. Watford's playoff hopes, are they back on after beating Hull City?
No.
No?
No, I'm going to say no. I don't see them finishing in the playoffs.
Well, no, I don't necessarily think they will, but they've got a chance.
No, yeah, there's hope, but I just don't see them doing it.
They've got something to play for, as do to West Brom. But West Brom's form is dreadful, and that last-minute goal they've conceded against Bristol City feels like a defining moment where...
It wasn't very good from the keeper, though, was it?
No, yeah, it might have just slipped away from West Brom now, a bit like the ball slipping away from the keeper. 5 games left, they need to win 4. Minimum 4.
I think it's been a draw though.
I'll back West Brom.
Go on then.
2-1, and
Okay.
I don't know why.
Yeah, I'll say 1-1, just because Watford aren't a bad team. I think they've got some really good quality in that team. But West Brom, they do need... I mean, to be fair, both teams need the points, but you'd fancy West Brom to finish in the playoffs a lot more than Watford. I mean, personally, I would. Right now, I don't know. I don't see them winning because they needed to not lose against Bristol City, and then, as I say, last minute their goalkeeper was like, do you know what? Have that. So yeah, I can't back them to win right now. So 1-1.
Yeah, and of course they'll be missing Malumbi.
Yes.
It would be typical if they draw, because, like you say, that'll probably see them both slipping away from the playoffs. Let's move on to the final game, Sophie, where we're hoping Coventry City can tighten our grip on the playoffs. Monday night, Hull City versus Coventry. Do join us on the Channel 4 live stream. 2 teams with a lot to play for. Coventry, Sophie, a final touch on yesterday's win against Pompey. We grew into the game. I'm really happy we got a clean sheet. That will build the confidence for Collins and the defenders. What a goal from Jamie Patterson. And we've got 5 games left. If we win 3 of them, I think we make the playoffs. 2 wins and 2 draws could be enough.
Yeah.
Let's see what we can get here. Hull City, Sophie, are not good at home. They are not. And they lost their last game. But that makes me a little bit uneasy.
Nervous,
I would maybe have preferred it if they drew the last game, because now that they lost to Watford, the pressure's on them to get something here. And I think Ruben Sellers has made them a difficult team to beat. I'm actually going to go for a draw. I would rather Coventry win, but I think Hull are going to get something. 1-1.
Oh, no, I've got my sky blues tinted glasses on. I'm backing us to win 2-1. I don't think it's going to be an easy game at all, but we do seem to have that character at points where we don't necessarily play the best and then we can get something from the game. Annoyingly, we seem to be picking up more and more injuries. Like last couple of games, we've had a couple of players stretchered off, which never looks good. Obviously, one being our goalkeeper. But Colin's got a clean sheet and I'm so happy for him just for the confidence. He didn't have a great deal to do, but that'll do his confidence a world good. So yeah, I'm really hoping we can get this one over the line. Obviously my bias is kicking in, but I fancy the boys to do it 2-1.
It's a big game for both teams. And that wraps up the Championship predictions, guys. Thank you so much for your support. Get your predictions down in the comments. Go on, get involved. We love to see your opinions, so long as they're friendly and they're not horrible. Do be sure to drop a like and subscribe. It takes 2 seconds and your support is massively appreciated. Get involved. Make sure you've done those 2 things. Thank you for joining me, Sophie.
Thank you.
We will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Peace out.